Hello guys, today we dive into the EV world where charging times are a nightmare unless you're with NIO. Let's explore how their battery swap technology is changing the game. So friends, people are waking up to a hard truth, often in the most frustrating way possible. The reality is that when you buy an electric vehicle EV that isn't a NIO, you're bound to suffer from extended charging times and long lines at charging stations. It's becoming a nightmare for EV owners, especially during high traffic periods. Take right now, for instance, it's the national holiday in China. Highways are toll-free, so many people are traveling. However, something stands out, and that is the chaos at highway rest areas where charging stations are packed beyond capacity. The waiting times for charging are ridiculous, and the lines stretch for hours. You could easily spend 2-3 hours waiting to plug in your car. Even once you're plugged in, you aren't safe from frustration. With so many vehicles charging at once, the energy output has to be shared, meaning slower charging speeds for everyone. It's a painful lesson in how difficult it is to travel long distances with a non-NIO EV during peak times. In stark contrast, NIO owners are cruising along, thanks to the company's extensive network of over 800 battery swap stations across China. NIO battery swap technology allows drivers to get a fully charged battery in just 3 minutes. No fuss, no waiting, just pull up, swap, and go. Compare that to the hours spent charging with other EVs, and it's a no-brainer. While others are waiting in line for what feels like forever, NIO owners are back on the road almost immediately. The difference in convenience is massive. For non-NIO EV owners, this realization is painful. They're stuck waiting in line for hours, maybe trying to guard their spot so no one cuts in front of them, and watching as NIO cars breeze through their quick battery swaps. The frustration builds even more when they see signs at the swap stations that say something like, "Charging takes an hour. Battery swapping only takes 3 minutes." It's like adding insult to injury. It's become clear, if you want to avoid the charging nightmare, you need a NIO. This issue isn't limited to fully electric vehicles either. Hybrid vehicles, specifically extended range electric vehicles (EREVs), are running into similar problems. EREVs might have a gasoline engine, but if the battery is low, the car's performance is significantly limited. The gasoline generator in these vehicles doesn't produce enough electricity to sustain high-speed driving for long periods, especially on highways. So, when their battery is depleted, these cars are forced to slow down. EREV owners also end up at charging stations, stuck in the same long lines, trying to recharge their batteries, but often at slower speeds due to their weaker inverters. It's another example of how even hybrid owners are learning the hard way that they're not exempt from the challenges faced by EV owners. So, what's the takeaway? People are realizing that battery swapping is the future. The convenience of NIO battery swap system is undeniable. The CEO of NIO has previously pointed out that even gasoline vehicle owners should consider NIO as their next car because battery swapping is comparable to the time it takes to fill up a gas tank, maybe even quicker. And for EREV owners, who might have thought they were making a smart choice by sticking with gasoline backup, their next car is also likely to be a NIO or at least a vehicle with battery swapping capabilities. The same goes for current EV owners who are tired of the long waits at charging stations and seeing NIO cars swap their batteries in mere minutes. These experiences are pushing more and more people toward NIO. We're already seeing early adopters of other EV brands, like BYD, making the switch to NIO simply because of the battery swap system. This shift highlights growing concerns about battery degradation and the inconvenience of long charging times. Eventually, the entire auto industry might have to adopt battery swapping just to stay competitive. And with NIO's extensive network of battery swap partners, it's clear they're positioned for long-term success. Now, let's talk about what's happening in the Chinese auto market. Right now, there are 3 major auto shows happening simultaneously. You've got the Android Auto Show, sometimes called the Huawei Auto Show. Then there's the Hefei Auto Show, and also the Suzhou Auto Show, which takes place in a large city near Shanghai. Suzhou is a significant player in the automotive market, selling a large number of cars. Lastly, you've got the Tianjin Auto Show, which is close to Beijing. All three of these shows are packed with people, and NIO has a presence at each one, showcasing its full lineup of vehicles along with battery swap stations to educate potential buyers on the advantages of this technology. Even for those who can't afford a NIO just yet, the awareness around battery swapping is growing, and it's clear that this innovation is going to play a key role in the future of transportation. Now, let's address the topic of NIO stock. Yesterday, we saw a bit of a pullback, which might have rattled some investors. The stock dropped to around $6.50, but it's already bouncing back. For those of you who are considering taking profits or selling off some of your holdings, I won't tell you what to do, but I will remind you of what happened to many early NIO investors back in 2019 and 2020. Back then, NIO stock was trading around $1, and many investors who believed in the company bought in at that price. When the stock tripled and hit $5, many of them sold, thinking they had made a great profit. However, the stock didn't stop there. It went on to surge past $60, and those early sellers missed out on the majority of the gains. It's a lesson worth remembering. Right now, you might be tempted to sell if you're sitting on a 20%, 30%, or even 50% gain. But you have to ask yourself, are you prepared to see the stock multiply by 10 or 20 times from here and not feel regret for selling too early? Of course, I'm not saying you shouldn't take profits. If that's your strategy, go ahead. But be aware that NIO growth potential is far from realized. Deliveries are just getting started for NIO lineup of vehicles, and by the end of this year, those numbers could nearly double. Next year, NIO could be delivering 50K to 60K vehicles per month across its three brands, NIO, Onvo, and Firefly. What kind of impact do you think that will have on the stock price? So, before you decide to sell, think about whether you want to hold on to your shares and reap the long-term benefits, or whether you're okay with potentially missing out on even bigger gains down the road. In short, the choice is yours, but remember the lessons from NIO early days. You could be looking at an opportunity for massive growth, and it's worth considering whether now is the right time to sell, or whether it's better to hold on for the long term. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing, and see you in the next video.